New Year, same sponsors, everybody. Squaring Around is proud to be brought to you by Elite Sports. Elite Sports is the only place where you can get custom merch from the show, just like this hat right here. EliteSports.com, ELETE sports.com. Use code SQUARE at checkout, get a nice discount. Support the show. They also have their full line of athletes. You've probably seen my Ben McLean shirt. You've probably seen a few other shirts floating in around, including that Squaring Around sweater that I wear from time to time. So if that tickles your fancy, support the show, EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE at checkout. Squaring Around is also proud to be brought to you by Home Field Apparel. Home Field is your one-stop shop for most things college athletics. Not Texas State yet, but I promise when that day happens, it will be magical. So if you have a Longhorn, if you have an Aggie, you have something else in your life, get them a gift. Tell them the Square Boys sent you. Use code SQUARE at checkout.
Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squaring Around with Jacob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, everybody? Look how shiny my hair is. Oh my gosh. I'm using a new hair product this week. So for our video viewers, sorry. Is this good? Chat, is this good? Am I cooked? Um, I wanted to get on here and make another quick announcement, just so everybody knows, just fair warning, our audio is only on DCTF's channel right now. So past episodes are all there from the off season and stuff. But as we get into football, baby, of course, we're with the Dave Campbell's Republic of Football podcast and network. We got more on that coming up soon in September. But pretty soon we're gonna have exclusive ads run on that site, and that's all, that's basically where all the money goes. So if you want to help us out, listen on there. After you watch on here, the YouTube episode, our episodes will always be on YouTube forever and ever and ever. Amen. I made that agreement with DCTF when we started this thing 3 years ago. Hashtag business Jake. But I just wanted to get on here and remind of all of our super loyal squaring around viewers that our audio is just on DCTF stuff. So it's on the button. Just look for our thing on our link tree, hit that blue button and it'll take you right to the DCTF's main page. So it's got links for Spotify, Apple, wherever else you want to watch it or listen to it in this case. Also, so sorry for what you're about to listen to because it's me and Andrew just kind of screaming for a little bit. And there's a lot of feelings in this episode. And Andrew kicks things off. So you know where we're going here. This is going to be a long night for me editing this. I just hope you guys have a fun time. Week 1, can you believe it? Eastern Michigan, a team that we have only ever played one time in the history of Texas State football. It was in 2021. Brady McBride threw 3 touchdown passes in that game. We do a little bit of a week 1 preview. We talk about both of the teams. I'm still waiting to talk to a player or a coach exclusively. Um, you know, I think there's a lot of feelings in this episode, maybe because we don't really know a lot about this team, really. You don't know anything until you get hit in the face the first time. Football, baby. Everything else is just BS and talking and words and stats and things that don't matter. Football matters, man. And you go to the whistle goes. So I'm super stoked. I'm not going to see this game, though, live and in person like I normally would. Thanks to this podcast, I've been given the green light for DCTF to just start doing other stories and stuff. So I pitched going to UTRGV to see the Vaqueros' first game ever, man. Doesn't that hype anybody up? I'm going to be there. History is going to be made when the Vaqueros take on Sul Ross State University, a Texas State University system school. So I'm rooting for UTRGV, Rally the Valley. That'll be really fun. I'm hyped. I can't get enough, but I have to get through a very long couple of days over here in TV land. Um, Super pumped. Football is here. It is loud. It is crazy. And Andrew's got a lot of feelings. So this is our conversation about all of that jazz. See you on the other side. Love you lots. What's
Welcome
going
to
on?
Squaring Around, the
Oh, geez, thanks.
the number one podcast for media homers, Jacob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel. Did you listen to the show? Have you ever listened to the show before? Do you know how often? We brought Caleb on here and made fun of him. We brought Colton on here and made fun of him. Every show, we make fun of Zach and Kef and Craven and Ish. The entire, what are you talking about? All we do is make fun of people. That's the whole show. The whole show is that. We started the podcast because we were like, nobody's doing it the way that we want to do it. So we started to, and we made fun of people. What is going on? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Also, by the way, don't know if you know this, it's week 1. We spent 2 hours talking about Mike Craven, and we had a game like in 4 days. Why? Who cares? Who cares? Genuinely, there's 2 people on this planet who care about Mike Craven. And one of them doesn't have object permanence. It's his wife and his kid. That's it. And also 20 people in a Twitter Spaces saying that we got Mike Craven. But like, I was in my bed last night, Jacob, and I thought about this. And I was like, we need to learn a lesson. And at every instance, every crossroad, every bridge, I go, what lesson can we learn? And it's a valuable one, especially for you. Don't ever give them an inch. Because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Okay? Craven had 4 tweets. They're like, we got his ass. We cooked him. We cooked Craven. I just imagine what happens when Jacob says, meet me at the mat. They must have group chats. Rudy Gold must have forums being like, we got Jacob. We got Jacob again.
I know, and that's why I didn't know you felt so passionately about this. Number one, I didn't know we were going to start firing all cylinders, but I'm glad we did because I think that monologue that you did was all time. You're right. I think half of this stuff is a joke. I texted you this morning. I was like, I feel like all of this is like a fake problem.
Well, exactly. And you're not wrong. Like, I woke up this morning, 5 a.m., no big deal. Woke up this morning to go to work, and I'm on my phone reading profiles of Eastern Michigan players because I want to know at 7 p.m. on Saturday what we're getting ourselves into. And I didn't get that from, and granted, okay, to be fair, if Caleb or Colton or Kef or you had a Twitter Space and you didn't talk about the game really at all, I would be disappointed. But it's a fan Twitter Space, so I kind of get that. But the biggest fan news is Mike Craven. That's the biggest thing we have going on is Mike Craven. I like Mike. This is a DCF podcast. We probably aren't doing this without his help. I'll be completely honest with you. But also at the same time, have you listened to the show? Have you seen him come on the pod? When he comes on, all we do is give him crap. We make fun of him constantly on the podcast. I think that's that's the frustrating part to me is that we have a whole show. It's 45 minutes on average a week. Tune in. Watch on YouTube. Watch the clips. What's going on? And on top of all of that, Kef, Colton, Caleb, Jacob, me, people who I like to think know something about the sport, like know something about the team. We all have them going 7-5. And then he goes, they're 7.5. I'm taking the under. I'm going 7-5. Who cares? Who cares? Like, what is going on? It doesn't make sense.
Actually, the greatest point ever was made by, I want to say it was Shmeeb. Shout out if that's you. But he was like, well, aren't these lines based on like what the team has done in the past? And this team has yet to do anything like worth a damn, really? And I was like, hey, that's kind of like what everybody has said so far.
They're like,
Good job, Shmeeb.
do you think this is an 8-win team with a bowl game? Maybe. Yeah, I think they could. I think they could win 8 games with a bowl game. That's good. That's where we are. And I'll be honest, like I said on the space last night, and I'll say it right now, this team is worse than the teams of the past. The teams of the past, of the last 2 years with GJ, had guys from Incarnate Word, who he loved, who he recruited. They were with him from the beginning, all right? This team doesn't have a lot of those guys. I don't think any of those guys that were in Incarnate Word with him. And we're running Brad Jackson out there, and I know you like him, and I know that like Kev likes him, and Zach likes him, and that's fine. But I'll be honest, I don't. I think that of the three, he's the worst one. Like if you did TJ Finley, if you did Jordan McLeod, and you did Brad Jackson, the three starting quarterbacks of the three separate seasons, maybe I'm way off. Maybe Action Jackson's incredible. But I'm going off of the little bit I saw last year and what I have heard from the camps now. I'm in Milwaukee. I don't know anything. I'm not there on the sideline, but I'm going off of what everybody has told me. What everybody has said is he's okay. He's good. That's not good enough. We had the Summit Player of the Year was under center last year. We won 7 games. Why would I think that this team would win more than 7 games? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I get your point. It is kind of like A&M-ish because they're like putting up super big videos about Marcel Reed throwing passes against the air and going, "Who said it couldn't be done?" That's propaganda, straight up from Texas A&M. I actually do think Marcel Reed will be good, but that's kind of a different story and a different team and a different responsibility of mine. I produced
Big
Dave Campbell's
AccuWare
other
guy.
show all about A&M too. As the guy who actually does talk to Mike Craven, I know this guy doesn't give a crap about anything that happens. And he's
Zero.
better for it as a journalist because he just keeps doing his thing, keeps chugging along.
And I will say it was a fun Twitter Spaces last night. I enjoyed the part that I was in, but the idea that there is like these toss up games that 7-5 is the projected, and you go through the 5 losses that set like a potentially, and Arizona State's on there, JMU's on there, Southern Miss is on there, ULL's on there, right? Okay, so all of those teams outside of maybe Southern Miss, Texas State is a dog in. Currently, they are underdog in 4 of those games. The only game that you could say is a real toss up would be the UTSA game, which I think Texas State is going to win. All right, so then that you're looking at 7-5, 8-4.
The math behind it too, by the way, in case you've never listened or watched or heard of anything Mike Craven has done, is he does his like win-loss totals, and then he looks at like some of those toss-up games and gives the teams half of that. You know, because that's like the chance of probability, which ball goes one way, which ball goes the other. And then that's kind of how he gets to his total, in case you're
And
curious.
and we went over the roster, we went over the schedule last season, and we said ODU was a shoo-in. And you said they can throw bricks through my windows if we lose ODU. And again,
And I
these
got
games
death threats for weeks afterwards.
and these games are happening in October. And yes, there was a point made last night that it was like, oh, injuries, you don't really know. That's fine. That's fine. But the way I look at it is if I am putting that projection out there, because again, I said this, if I'm putting a projection out there, 7.5, and I'm picking the over, I'm putting money behind that. I'm going to the sports book down the street and putting money behind it. Craven is not a gambler. He puts out the bets. He's fine, whatever. But like, I don't look at him as like a gambling savant by any means. Okay. But when he puts that out there, I do think that there's a kernel of, if somebody does take my advice on this, and I think that UTSA has fewer of those 50-50 games, not because they're better than Texas State, it's because their schedule's worse. They have a worse schedule. That's why. So look, I understand the homerism thing. Oh, he went to UTSA. He went there when they didn't have a team. He was rooting for UT and A&M when he was in college, all right? And I imagine he probably, in his heart of hearts, roots for those teams currently today. Like, if Jacob and I go to ESPN tomorrow and we have to talk about the SEC and the Big Ten, the ACC, we're still rooting for Texas State, obviously. But, like, if it's, I don't know, a Boise State, Texas State matchup and I'm on the call for it, I'm probably going middle ground. I'm probably not doing what Matt Berry did last year when it was Arizona State, Texas State, and San Marcos and actively rooting for Arizona State on the call. I'm not going to do that.
Here's my
But
thing. I know you're super worked up about this, so let me just buy you some breathing room. I can't even talk mess because I for sure have crashed out time and time and time again. But it's because like to me, sports journalism barely exists as it is today. Like, I don't believe in true unbiased coverage in general, like in news, period. Because like people's situations and lives lead them to believe certain things, whether you serve an institution ultimately like trying to do the greater good or not, like there's just certain things that I'm always going to look at based on my experiences and go, that's not how that works at all. And you can tell in like the way that I pick stories, the way that I want to do things at the news station, the way that I advocate for things. You can tell about all that stuff just based on the work, the body of work that I've completed as a journalist. Um, and so, like, when guys tell me I'm wrong on the internet or I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I just get to point at this gold statue now and go, really? Is that it? Like, what else do I have to do in my career? I don't know. It is frustrating. I get you guys' point because it's just like dumb sometimes. And also, like, bigger picture, like, what are we talking about here? We're really talking about nothing because we don't know anything about this team because this team
Texas
doesn't
State.
talk to us. And last year, Andrew, or last week, I should say, I was super frustrated with the team because they didn't give us a coach, they didn't give us a player. This week, again, no coach, no player. We're just making up headlines, and this is what it's led us to a road to nowhere.
You got 20 minutes of Andrew yelling at a camera. All right.
Exactly. So let me welcome back our audience, Andrew. Welcome back, everybody, to Squarin' Around. The show full of crash outs. The show that will tell you what's going to happen in the future 6 months from when it does actually happen in the future. I was the first podcaster, journalist, newsmaker, insert candlestick maker, whatever. It doesn't matter to tell you that Brad Jackson was probably going to get the start in week one. I still firmly believe we'll likely see two quarterbacks in that first game against Eastern Michigan, but that's because the Bobcats are heavily favored. If something goes drastically wrong, we likely will, or drastically right. If we're big up in the first half, like we're going to see two quarterbacks. And then, secondly, Luster has no shine in San Marcos. Still think that was the best headline I ever said in the offseason. What else will we write about? Oh, pack your bags, everybody. We're about to go to the First Responders Bowl again, pretty much, just based off our
Okay.
record prediction.
All right. So I said 3-time champion. I'm thinking we're going back to Dallas. And you made the joke, I think, in the text thread. You were like, hey, I saved $300 already getting our hotel. So one bet or two, my friend. Let's,
You know the answer to that.
yeah. This guy refuses to get two bets.
I
It's
also
crazy.
think if you and me were just dedicated like to being like straight and narrow paths as like sports journalists, this would be the most boring show of all time. So we
Yeah.
picked our lane. We're a little bit on the outside because it's fun.
That's funny.
Because we like making some headlines of our own.
All right. So you're in the Valley this weekend, right?
I am, yeah. So we're both not really watching this team in real time.
Oh,
I imagine you've been booked with work, haven't you?
I will be 7 p.m.
Oh,
locked in.
you're locked
No,
in.
I am locked in on week one. ESPN Plus, the last season with my beloved app, the last season with our beloved student workers. I hope the field is in purple this year, but I'm excited. It's going to be good. 7 p.m. kick, Eastern Michigan, 13 and a half point spread, Jacob. 13 and a half point spread. So last year, Eastern Michigan misses a bowl game. This year is a theoretical rebuild, consistent. They're trying to get to 6 wins.
It's been really good. Love our guys. Love our culture. And super excited about getting to play football.
The head coach has had, I think, 4 of the best seasons in the past 18 years have been under this head coach. So he's not a bad head coach. It's a MAC team.
He's been at that spot for 12 years. So
yeah, this is a MAC school. I think the MAC, in the Craven theory of there's 2 different sports happening. It's the top of college football and it's everybody else. The MAC is in that weird realm behind the rest of the group of 5 and just ahead of the FCS. Like if you ranked all the group of 5 conferences, I truly believe that the MAC would be at the bottom set 2 or 1 or 2 and just above like North Dakota State and UND. All right, that would be kind of where my head's at with that. So this is a average conference that has good marketing, and Eastern Michigan comes in with a good running attack. And we've heard the defense talked about to this point, Jacob. Hey, this is a really good pass defense. They want to put a bunch of speedy, quick guys on the field. That does not necessarily help you when you're facing a run first team. So it'll be, I will be interested to see what those first 2 or 3 possessions look like for Eastern Michigan. Because if they run clock and chew up yards, that will be worst case scenario for Texas State.
Their likely starter, though, Noah Kim, threw for 4 touchdowns last year. Is that
For the season or
yeah,
for like in a
the
game?
whole season? Yeah. So I
So
mean,
would you rather, let me ask you, Brad Jackson or Kim?
let me
Quarterback who
side,
doesn't play or
quarterback sidebar
yeah.
real quick. Brad Jackson is way better than this guy, 1,000,000,000%. If you even
Well,
just look at the
but
player
based on what?
profile picture, Brad Jackson versus this guy. I mean,
Brad Jackson looks like a 7-5 quarterback. I
Brad
said
Jackson looks like a Texas State quarterback.
yes, he does. That was I okay. We've gone. I liked Vitt. Tyler Jones kind of looked like a I don't know. He was fine. He kind of looked like a stick in the mud to me. Brady looked like the most Texas State quarterback imaginable. So
Absolutely.
on the Brady McBride, Tyler
Dale.
Jones scale of white boy quarterbacks, where are you? He's got to be closer to Brady, right?
He's above Vitt for sure.
Yeah.
Right under Brady, I think, in my head.
Mm.
The only person that might be higher on that scale as far as Texas State quarterbacks is Zach Webb's favorite quarterback, the true freshman that we have, who's got highlighter hair. I still don't know that guy. Still don't know that guy's name. So sorry, sir. But it's because he hasn't played a game. We haven't played a game. We haven't talked to the coaches. We haven't talked to the players. That's why I don't know this guy's name.
So what'd you think of GJ? We're kind of jumping all over the place here, but on the quarterback situation and the conversation, what'd you think of GJ announcing the QB when he did?
All right, Brad Jackson will be our starting quarterback. He's earned it. He's done an unbelievable job since really the moment he's been here. Great player, great leader. He's really everything you want for a guy to be the face of the program, and that's what he is, and that's what he'll be moving forward. Got a ton of confidence in him. Right, he can throw it, he can run it. Great leader. He's everything that you want. So. Those other guys did an unbelievable job competing, and they made it interesting. But at the same time, Brad was the guy, and I look forward to those other 3 with Keldrick and Holden and Nate continuing to battle and get evaluated, and they're going to continue to get reps with the twos each week until we kind of solidify that 2 spot. If we went into a game. And Keldrick will be the next guy out right now. So really good battle, but Brad took it and ran with it.
Oh, I got a couple of notes for you, GJ.
Yeah?
I know you watch this show.
Yeah.
How's it going? I'm a big fan of yours. On Monday, I asked the question if he was ready to name a starter.
There's always so much noise around just quarterback stuff. I'm sure people have been hounding you to name a starter. Are there any other position groups that you're looking to really kind of separate themselves on Saturday?
I think really all of them. You kind of look at our roster offensively, defensively, and special teams. I think we'll learn a lot about our team on Saturday. So it's not just the quarterback; it's really every position. So I'm excited. It's obviously that's I guess a little nerve wracking in itself, but it's also exciting. And our guys had a really good fall camp and a lot of really good on good work, but at the same time, nothing really replicates that game-like atmosphere. So I'm excited to kind of see what that looks like.
It wasn't. Tuesday press conference announces the starter. I was pissed, but it's fine. It happens. I always say they should have announced it on Monday because then that's like 3 days of headlines. We're recording this on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Boom. We're still suddenly talking about the starting quarterback. I just think this team is perpetually bad at marketing. I don't think that they get their players and coaches in the right spots to talk about the games, to talk about the players, to talk about the program at all. This guy's getting paid $500,000 to appear on podcasts and shows. not appearing on podcasts and shows right now.
So he might appear on Feinbaum. He's not going to appear on Squaring. He's gotten too big for us, Jacob.
He has gotten slightly too big for us. Which is sad because like literally every other team minus baseball when they're losing all the time will come on our show.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
And you know what I've noticed is that like as football has gotten like semi good, like again, this is like by all accounts kind of a mid team, 7-5, 8-4, however you want to slice it.
Hey. It's an extraordinary team compared to what Texas State has been putting on the field. This is all time.
Talking about like broader college football, I should say, because you're right. I should just be happy and go along the trail with everybody else because I saw 2-10.
Yes, each year 7-5 and be happy with it.
Yeah, like this is great. This is actually wonderful. And if you're a junior at Texas State, get ready to go bowling again. I'm sure those bowl game trips to Dallas are a hoot and a half because I have a great time too. So what I'm really trying to say is, I don't know, I guess like be happy with what you got, but also just like tamper your expectations. This is very far from a CFP team, at least that I know so far. Me and Andrew could be totally blown away by this team, maybe. And they do go on a 12-0 run. And maybe that happens.
I will say I was more upset with the Texas State ranked 6 in the Sun Belt predictions than I was that Texas State under UTSA in the state of Texas predictions. Like that was more
kind of a crapshoot, right? Because were people overreacting to the win-loss total, or was that the DCTF power ranking that we know is BS?
Yeah, that one's crap. The power ranking is BS. And the minute that they let the podcast network vote on it, that's when it will become legitimate.
I suggested 2 years ago when this podcast was just going up with DCTF, I said, why don't you guys legitimately make a power poll and have us all vote in it week to week? That way it would be kind of legit instead of just craving.
Instead of whatever Carter Yates
feels like and a few other people voted in it.
Carter Yates, we're looking at you, buddy.
No,
okay.
Carter, I think defends our honor.
I don't think so.
You went to Texas State to write about a game one time, ended up going in this guy's van to check out the
Dude, that's another one. Okay, so this is really good because Carter Yates is in the same bucket as my coworkers, where I have been at this job for like 6 weeks now, and I've said a couple times, hey, we should do happy hours. We should hang out. Never get an invite. Always see the photos on Monday. Never invited on Friday night, right? Carter Yates, you're in the same bucket, buddy, because we were like, hey, we should all hang out. Nah, man, I'm tired. I'm going to I got to go back to Dallas. I'm going to go to the hotel. Next thing I know, hey, what's the DCTF van doing in the square? What's going on there?
Yo, that was crazy. I remember that now. Never mind. Yeah. I got beef again, which by the way, I've never been to Showdown, which has one of the best burgers on the square. I know that's like a sin that I'm talking right now. But you ever been to Showdown?
No, never been. Never heard of it.
Never.
This is news to me.
Too busy at Taproom, Grins. I've never been to Treff's Tavern either.
Oh, I've been to Treff's. Treff's. That's a good one.
My brother actually was like, yo, if you want to get your ass kicked, go to Treff's. And I was like, nobody said they do karaoke like every night. What are you talking about?
He doesn't know what ass kicking is until you've had 7 of the dollar margaritas from Grins, which is just bottom shelf.
Genuinely,
alcohol.
If you do want to get your ass kicked, go to the I Don't Know bar or by that HEB. That's one of the worst bars in San Marcos. You will get into a fight very fast over there.
So, okay, back on track.
Back on track. I'm sorry.
To talk Texas State. I just don't like. I think that the Texas State defense will be tested a little bit in the run game against Eastern Michigan. I don't imagine that they want to air the ball out a lot. They're going to try to run the clock. They're going to try to eat time. The problem with that is that the Texas State defense is unproven in run stopping. And if you are in a game where it becomes a rock fight, Texas State's running back room is, I would argue, one of the best in the country, let alone best in the Sun Belt. But I don't really want to get into a type of, hey, this is a 10-minute drive, 7-minute drive, 6-minute drive, 12-minute drive. I don't want to do that with another team because then it turns into who has the ball last. And I don't want to put Brad Jackson in his first real. I mean, I don't think he started a game last year, did he?
He started a game last year.
He did start a game last year.
Yeah, bro.
I don't want to put him in that position this early in the season. Then I'll say to say like, hey, here's the rock, go win us a game. I just don't want to do that to him.
Those would be deep waters, and I would be much more afraid, I guess, if he didn't have some of the same offensive weapons that TJ Finley and Jordan McClown had. Like, he's got Lincoln Perry, which I know you're not a huge fan of, but he
No, I
also
am.
has
Yeah.
probably, like, if I had to rank the running back rooms from the last 3 years to now, I would still put this one above it, even with Ishmati on the other ones.
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, like,
Ish was
what did we have like in depth last year? Like, I mean,
Ish.
Jalen.
Well, if you like, well, I'm saying if you like Perry, you had Ish and Perry
I
and
was a huge
you know,
Denario Davenport fan
yeah,
too, but
yeah,
that didn't really materialize into anything.
really good in video game.
Really good in video game.
But like, yeah, I mean,
I don't
I
know.
would say I
Ish is so good it might tip it.
balance out. I do think that this is if you had to rank the three. Like, okay, we'll see how Brad plays this year. I
Year
would
one
say
for sure. This year is better than that one. Like
running back room.
DJ's first year versus
Yeah,
this
I would
year.
say so. Like
But the
because
second year, maybe not. You're right.
the running back room year one surprised people. Last year was kind of what it was supposed to be. This year, I don't think it's going to surprise anybody who covers the team or watches Texas State. I think outside, you are going to have some people say, "Oh my God, I can't believe how good this running back room is." I would say, yeah, probably again, if you're coming into the season and you have arguably a better offensive line than year one or two, I think that you want to call the quarterback position a wash, you can. Running back room's a little bit better. Wide receiver room probably on par with year one. I think last year's running or wide receiver room was really good. I don't know if this year's wide receiver room is going to be as good. Of those like of the offensive positions, you feel pretty good. I would say I come into this week one matchup feeling okay. Defensively, again, is where I have the problem because Texas State I think they finished in the top 10 last year in points per game. This is the second straight year they had over 35 points per game. I don't love the idea that, okay, we just need to score 40 points to win ball games. I would rather have a defense that can get a stop every once in a while. And I think that later in the season, we're going to get to that point. But again, in the non-con preseason, essentially, the non-conference schedule, you're going to have some games this week, maybe next week against UTSA, where, okay, the defense needs to step up and you're going to be biting your fingernails in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
But I will,
It's
again.
hard to tell, too, because we know Texas State pulls punches in the first game. And
I'm going to say you shouldn't.
you don't think so? You just stomp on their necks?
I think that the team this year is very different just from a culture standpoint and from a outside looking in standpoint, that there needs to be some sort of FU attitude because every team that they play now, again, Eastern Michigan, probably not, but for the rest of the conference, especially the conference slate, teams are going to want to come in and run the score up. They're going to want to kick Texas State's ass. So start getting in that vibe now. Hey, we're not taking our foot off the gas. It does not matter what the final score is. We will put up 100 points if we can. Like, I don't want to see third string defensive players in a 10-point ball game, right? I just don't want to see that. I want you to keep the starters in there. I want you to get guys playing time.
Yeah, in terms of a bar fight, this is like getting into a bar fight at like Maylus or Axis, like right on the square. You know that's going to get broken up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
The Sunbelt slate is like getting taken to the I don't know bar. You don't know what's going to happen in there.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. 13.5. Are you taking the over or the under? Do you think they cover?
On wins?
No, 13.5 points to this weekend.
Points? Yeah, I think so. I mean,
you think they would cover?
And I might have to eat shit on this take, but like I'm not really worried about Eastern Michigan. They have like 50 plus transfers, mostly portal guys. Their head coach talked a lot about culture building and different things like that.
Love our culture.
Kind of like non-football things. I don't know. They didn't really even talk about like, Texas State, for better or for worse, has been known as a team that pushes the tempo, that runs super wide splits, that runs kind of like an air raid or pass first offense. They didn't talk about any of that stuff. They were too busy talking about culture.
Love our culture.
And that has either done really good or really bad things for Texas State because Sam Houston whooped our just based on culture, according to Casey Keeler, who then
Well,
left, by the way, to Temple
shout out
again.
to Temple.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the other side, ODU just whooped our based on vibes. So I can't even really predict the future on this one.
and an ankle injury to Jordan McLeod. Yeah, this is a problem. I also think every time you talk about culture, I immediately think about Everett Withers, who that was his main poll of I'm going to build a culture at Texas State, and that
He
culture
did
was
go on the record with Colton McWilliams back in college and was like, I had straight up drug dealers on the team. I didn't want those guys around my family. And
yeah.
then he recruited his son to play on the team.
Didn't we have a player that got shot in the chest at one of the college apartments? Am I wrong about that?
I think you are correct.
That's the problem. I'm glad that we're not dealing with that anymore. Can I do a quick pause here? And again, you can keep this in the pod or you don't have to. So we're the Brewers affiliate, right? We get a bunch of Brewers tickets. September 1st is Dollar Dog Night. It's Labor Day. And I wanted these tickets very, very badly for my company. And I put in for them and I was like, please give me these tickets. And they said, sorry, somebody else got them. And it really put me in a funk. I was really upset. I just got a text. The person who they gave the tickets to was me. They got it confused. I got the ticket. So I'm so pumped. I got 4 tickets to Dollar Dog Night, bro. Yes, I'm so excited. Anyway, sorry. This changes the whole mood. You know what? I'm on your side, Texas State fans. Mike Craven.
And you know what? It only takes that much to change your day. So if you can do something else nice for somebody, it really can just kind of turn your whole day around.
You know what? Let's text him.
Let's text him. No, I mean, genuinely, this guy does not give a shit, dude. So it's like you guys are kind of like wasting your breath. If you think you got him, congratulations. But he literally just turns his phone off at the end of the night and like hangs out with his family.
Truly, could you imagine?
He does not care.
Could you imagine getting a text at like 10 a.m.? Fuck you from like I wonder what Zilla wants. What is this?
Yeah, he does not give a shit, dude. It's awesome. Yeah, I wish I was like that because I get roped into stuff like this all the time. And at work too. Like I've gotten into screaming matches with people over the phone. They'll call in to the station. Not here, but in Corpus. Oh man, did I throw tantrums down there.
This reminds me of something. Speaking of Corpus, it reminded me of a different time of your life. With Travis and Taylor getting engaged yesterday, did that open up any wounds for you?
No, it did not.
Okay.
But again, Zimmel's trying to poke fun at my failed engagement, everybody, which just goes to show that maybe it's not the trolls on the internet that you have to worry about. It's these who call friends.
Maybe it's not the trolls on the internet. Maybe it's the trolls we had along the way the whole time. Exactly. It wasn't the trolls on the internet. It was the trolls we made along the way.
Yeah. More headlines. Will Texas State make more headlines than Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift made yesterday? No.
Not a shot. Not a shot. Let me ask you this. Will Brad Jackson start every game this year?
Yes.
Will Lincoln Perry start 5 games this year?
Yes.
You think he gets 5 starts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Week 1, week 2. He's got to start week 3 if he starts those other 2.
That's funny.
I know.
Well, it just rolls together, right?
And then to open the Sun Belt slate, that's 4 right there. And then I just need one more somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good.
I need a guy to get the flu. I just need one more. More combined.
JMU? Easy. He's got that
combined points. The UTRGV game or Texas State Eastern Michigan. Who more combined points from those games?
This is actually perfect because I wanted to do our pick'em too.
Yeah.
I got the Vaqueros, a completely unproven team, no data on them, just vibes, and one of the best weight rooms in the world, apparently. I got them beating Sol Ross in their opener. There's going to be a bunch of drunk Mexican dudes in the crowd. I cannot wait. I'm going to be in my absolute element back home.
What do you know about Sol Ross?
They're in the Texas State University system.
There's 2 things I know about Sol Ross.
Was that the first one?
No, that's not the first one. That would be the third thing. The first thing I know is that the people who went there that I knew were the people who were very on the fence about going to college and got into college late. We'll put it that way. The second thing I know is that they have some of the craziest football players imaginable because you get guys from these little towns who don't get recruited by like UT, A&M or whatever, like six-man football teams, like single A football teams. And they end up going to Sul Ross and they transfer out. And then you'll look at a roster in like 4 years and go like, hey, wonder what happened to that guy from that like little town. And it's like, oh, he's playing for Baylor now from going from Sul Ross. So it's a mix. Like you either have like really, really good players or guys who are awful. So I think UTRGV was going to win that game, but I'm just letting you know when you're down there that you're going to see you. There's a chance that you will see somebody who will be playing on Sundays one day, and you'll go, "How the hell did he end up there?" Because
the difference is pretty immediate. Like as soon as you look at somebody, you're like, "Wow, that guy's an NFL talent." You know?
Yeah, and you might. I don't know the Sul Ross roster like that, but I do know that they have guys that are constantly going to bigger programs after 1 year. So it's almost like
Okay.
a. I don't
know the RGV roster at all, really. I know Eddie Lee Marburger, and I know one of the coaches from high school. I know our guy Marco Regalado.
Oh yeah, shout out! Did they recruit from the Valley or did they recruit all over the state? Like
They
how
got
did
a
that
lot
go?
of they got a lot of Valley guys. Your favorite DN from Texas State, Nathan Huerta, is over there now.
No kidding.
Yeah, shout out Huerta.
Um, Went home. Good for him.
Yeah, he's from
Um,
Harlingen. He's a Harlingen South Hawk or whatever they are.
yeah,
I hated those guys. They kept us out of the playoffs my senior year.
that's crazy.
You know,
Uh,
I was not on the sidelines, by the way. Because
are we? So okay. So UTRGV, Texas State. What's our third pick on Texas, Ohio State? Like, what do you want the third team to be?
did you see how like that game might be impacted because of this TV deal that they're trying to decide on right now? By the way, we have now over 30 people in this Squaring Around Pick'em League.
Oh man,
The links on our Twitter. You can join now. 32 guys and gals and they thems willing to throw down on the Pick'em League every week.
dude, I
Got my
suck at
pick.
that so
I already
hard.
got my picks in. I got Texas over Ohio State, Tulane over Northwestern, Utah State over the UTEP Miners, LSU over Clemson, Fresno State over Georgia Southern, Arizona over the Rainbow Warriors, Oregon State over Cal. Shout out the Pac-12. Utah over UCLA, South Carolina over Virginia Tech, and Notre Dame over the Miami Hurricanes.
That's tough. I'm doing this live. We'll do Texas over Ohio State, even though I don't love it. I'm going to go Tulane over Northwestern. I don't feel great about that one. I'll take Utah State over UTEP. I'm taking Clemson over LSU. I think this is the year that Clemson ends up with the national championship.
You're,
I'm
you're a
going
club neck guy?
big club neck guy. Westlake.
That guy
Proud.
lost me a lot of money a year ago,
Really?
2 years ago, too.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
You were betting on high school football?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go Georgia Southern, Sunbelt Strong. I'm going to take Arizona over Hawaii. I'm going to take Oregon State over Cal. Again, don't feel great about that one. I will take Utah over UCLA. Again, don't feel great about that one. South Carolina over Virginia Tech. And you know what? I'm going Miami. I'm taking Miami over Notre Dame. I feel bad about it because I'm taking Notre Dame over A&M in 2 weeks, but I'm taking Miami. I think that Crystal Ball finally is building something in South Florida, and if they lose to Notre Dame at home, brother, that is going to be a tough drive home from Hard Rock Stadium.
Definitely does not bode well for the rest of the season, for sure.
And then for the tiebreaker, Ohio State, Texas points.
Oh, yeah.
You know how it goes. 69.
Yeah, I always go like, I'm going to go 45.
You think it's going to be a combined 40? No, you're insane.
Dude, if I hit it, it's going to be crazy.
All right, that's
stuff like that. That's hedging bets.
That's our picks this week. I feel good about maybe two of those teams, and then Texas State. I feel
Texas State over Eastern Michigan, easy.
Yeah, that's God. Don't say easy. I think they win. I don't even know if they're going to cover. I'm very nervous about this game, to be honest.
13.5. Here's my thing. Can I just end on Brad Jackson real quick? Because I know you've been like super cold on this guy. I don't really think there's reason to be. GJ Kinney actually said that he's the closest thing to Lindsey Scott Jr. he's had in a long time. So this is white Lindsey Scott Jr. Do I think he's more talented, like from an like a IQ perspective than Jordan McLeod did, which was what Jordan McLeod was really good at. Like he was the
Yeah, being a
decision
coach on the
maker.
field. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he's also not like a seventh year senior either, you know? So you can't really put that against him.
I'm just zagging.
Lindsey,
You're
or not Lindsey Scott Jr., I'm sorry. TJ Finley, his biggest thing was like being able to lace the ball like Joe Milton. And then
and
sometimes,
super mobile.
yeah, and apparently super mobile. Uh, he's not that either. He's much better actually on his feet than both of them. And my tweet yesterday was like GJ Kinney said that Brad kind of took the ball and ran with it. That's what's going to happen a lot. I
Uh,
think maybe Lincoln Perry doesn't have to worry about any of the running.
Also,
He has
what
to worry
happened?
about his own quarterback scoring more touchdowns than he does. Brad Jackson, I'm with you, brother.
Let's talk about, by the way, because that tweet, you were like, I'm late to the party. GJ Kenny, Brad took it, ran with it. You're sounding a lot like Zim God. What is that supposed to mean? what is that supposed to mean? You're starting to sound like Zim. Anyway, whatever. That's fine.
I know Zim will never make a joke like that in his life.
I know. I'm like, I just don't. I don't know. I just don't find. Here's the
He
thing.
doesn't like Brad, period. So he tries to
I,
keep Brad
I
out
I'm
of his
not.
mouth.
I'm not saying. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Your head coach is supposed to big up your young quarterback. You're comparing him to the best quarterback that they ever had at UIW. Well, let me rephrase that. You're comparing him to the best quarterback that GJ Kenny ever had in his career as a head coach. I almost said the best quarterback UIW ever had. That probably would be Cam Ward. Let's be honest. But like that's still kind of a big deal. I would say that I need to see it. I need to see proof in the pudding. I don't like, especially with the limited access we've gotten, I don't like putting eggs in a basket that I don't know if the basket has a bottom to.
I
That's all I'm
think
going to say.
I think this is where I kind of fall is that you know, you have to just kind of trust your head coach at the end of the day to make a good call. And GJ's proven that he's the talent evaluator of talent evaluators. And then
Yeah.
he could recruit the pants off of anybody, man, in the state of Texas. If you go head to head with him in a recruiting battle, you're probably going to lose. He can tell you all the good things that he wants to do. And not only that, he can super evaluate somebody beneath the depths of everywhere. And then that guy's starting at Arizona now. Or, you know, he's there. We got guys that are still fighting for NFL roster spots as we speak.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I
And no, none of the to Craven's point, because he said something about like Alex Harkey wasn't a household name, blah blah blah. It wasn't a household name. It only really takes one good year of football to become that, you know, or to make that next step, or to make
honestly,
a
I'm
swing
gonna
in
I'm
the
gonna go
NFL.
even harder. It takes one good game. If any of these guys have a big game against Arizona State, watch out. So I'm gonna say, watch out.
Yeah.
You think UTSA covers the A&M spread?
Hell no. The
No,
A&M's
you
going
think
to
that
stomp those boys out.
stomp them?
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Their A&M has always done this. Like when their first games, they like look like what they're supposed to look like. They've always done a great job at that. We
that's fun.
look like we're still trying to evaluate the depth chart. And by the way, all the G5 depth charts now have become such a joke. It's like or this or whatever blank now from the Utah State Aggies. Shout out. But it's just dumb, and it's because we don't know anything about this team, and coaches are not sharing anything or not willing to share anything. Especially, I talked to a couple of sports people, and they were like, honestly, you see this all the time with especially younger coaches. They don't want to show you anything because they don't know, you know, they don't know what's going to happen, what's
Okay.
not going to happen. And Chris Creighton, by the way, did actually not BS the media. He was like, listen, this is going to happen. We're going down. It's going to be a big time for some of our players who've never gotten in a jet before. We get to fly into Austin on a charter jet. It'll be fun. So, I mean,
All right, you got to pick one of these teams to cover the spread. Okay. Marshall at Georgia, 39.5. Okay. UTSA at A&M, 24.5.
oh man, that's a
Or
long time.
or Georgia State at Old Miss, 35.5.
I'll take Georgia
Of
State.
you taking Georgia State, you think
Yeah.
they cover 35.5 point spread?
I think they
Okay.
get closer to all the other teams that are doing it.
Okay. All right. I
And
just was
what
curious.
was A&M's line again? 24?
24.5.
Ooh, that's tough. I still wouldn't pick the Birds. I think
To
their
cover.
offense,
Not
their
to win, but
offense,
to cover.
their offense has as many question marks as our defense. That's
Okay.
why that week 2 matchup is so interesting. UTSA.
Thanks for squaring, everybody. By the way, Jacob dropped and then re-picked up Amari Cooper. I just want to point that out there. Talking about good owners and good coaches. That's a move right there. That's a vet move. Drop a guy, and then the news breaks that he signed with another team, and then pick him back up again. That was it's impressive.
Dude, can you admit I'm the waiver wire goat on here? Like,
Yo, I will say I expanded the rosters, and Jacob the entire time on the couch was complaining. This is so long. It's taking so long. I added 2 more rounds. We added 2 rounds to that draft in a hope that
felt forever. This
it
past
took 2 hours. It took 2 hours. This is the first time that I was like, okay, we're trying to limit the waiver wire. There'll be 24 fewer players on the wire for Jacob. And then yet he's still the first person to make a waiver wire pickup.
This week picked up Amari Cooper. Who else did I pick up? Oh, I got Aaron Rodgers too. I just added him on an ad drop because I have so many injured wide receivers. Is it a gamble? 1,000,000,000%. But if you guys are new to this show, you'll know I'm just an idiot. I can pick games. I can pick games. I finished second in the Squarin round pick 'em league last year.
So Jacob's brother Jason didn't do the punishment. Jacob has the 2nd overall pick. And I thought it might have been a little bit of a coup there where Jacob's like, we should get rid of Jason's
I didn't say that. That was all them.
Shouldn't take Jason's pick. All of a sudden, Jacob ends up with the #1 overall pick. I'm just saying, dude. If it was me,
here's the thing. I spent the whole morning drinking. I go into this room, finally can sit down, take a load off my feet. These guys already have a plan. They're like, we want Jason's pick. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I got Ashton Genty off my brother. But he could have done the punishment. He didn't.
He did a really good job drafting. I think Jason had one of the sneaky best drafts. So I'll be curious to see, because I do still believe that you will have the worst team this year. I'm wondering if Jason ends up ahead of you in the standings, how that will look. Because we were talking about it, because it's a beer miles of punishment this year. And of everybody in the league that could do it and not like physically die from it, Jacob is probably the highest on the list of like best in shape, could do a beer mile with like really no problem. So it's funny, again, ironic that the punishment this year fits Jacob the best. Again, we just got to just putting 2 and 2 together here.
And Jonathan didn't do the punishment. So now we're going to have the loser of the league, which very well could be me, but it also could not be. I think I might just run the beer mile for funsies because all these guys are super loser, unathletic dudes who can barely drink. And I am a marathoner, and this is my one like superpower. I'm going to use it.
Oh, by the way, again, I gotta get out here soon. Girl in my office, she's qualifying or trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon. She's going to Miami in 2 weeks to go run it down there. Yeah, to qualify. Nice. And so I was telling her about you, and I was like, Jacob's trying to qualify for Boston. So if I can set you up and get you to Milwaukee that way.
Yo, you brought me up?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
What'd you tell her my time was?
I didn't.
Oh.
I said that
it's like a 4:14 right now, but I this year I'm breaking 4. I'm gonna probably be in like 3:45 range.
No, I told her I was like, he's getting pretty close. He got a marathon trainer. He's taking it very seriously.
By the way, just got a text from my coach today. Said, gotta tell you, I love opening up your final surge calendar and seeing that the streak is alive. Just made my whole day. Training looks stupid strong. That's my girl, Jenny. If you think I'm not going to book my own running coach on the podcast later this year, you got another thing coming.
Look at this. We started over here. We ended over here. We're feeling really good. This is a great show.
Did Craven hit you back about telling him to F himself?
No, I didn't text him that. Are you insane? Why would I text Craven to F himself? I love that guy.
Oh, okay.
I said, they accused me of being a media homer, and I'm like, do you know who I am? He said, incredible work. So, nothing crazy.
I don't get that. Why wouldn't I stick up for another journalist, though?
No, but here's the thing. Like, okay.
Somebody I actually like, though. I'm not going to stick up for everybody.
And this isn't disrespectful. If it was you, because you are a journalist, a capital J journalist.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
A job?
Yes, that would make sense. I fancy myself as a journalist when it fits me. Need to get press passes, whatever. Like, I'm going to be a journalist, but like, I don't think anybody would get it confused being like, Zimmel's a real journalist. Like, I don't think anybody would say that about me. So when somebody's like, you're a homer for journalists, am I? I mean, maybe, probably, but also I do act a fool. And yeah. Also, by the way, biggest news of the day yesterday wasn't Taylor and Travis. You know that, right? The biggest news of the day was the fact that Bill Belichick is going to be a new father.
Oh, by the way, why were people mad about that? Like, personally, I want head coaches to get after it well into their however many he is.
My boy is curling toes. That's all I'm going to say. He be playing mermaids with his girlfriend. I'm not against it at all. It does suck for his actual adult children who now will lose out on their inheritance. And I'm not entirely sure that Jordan is doing everything above board when it comes to treating that man correctly. But hey, congratulations. It can happen to anyone.
You too can get trapped by a woman.
You too can be trapped. Just be careful. If you don't think it happened to you, in fact, what we said from the beginning of the pod, you got to learn lessons from people. What lessons can we learn here? Wrap it up.
We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.